Today, we're going to dive into the future of AI through the eyes of someone right at the heart of it all. He's one of the most important minds in the field, and frankly, his prediction for what's about to happen is, well, it's pretty stunning. So let's just start with the bombshell, right? Shane Legg, a co-founder of Google DeepMind, has been saying this for over a decade, a 50-50 shot of creating artificial general intelligence, AGI, by 2028. And just to be crystal clear, that's not some far-off sci-fi future. That's like right around the corner. Okay, so you might be thinking, who is Shane Legg? And why should we take this prediction more seriously than all the others floating around out there? Well, it all comes down to where he sits in the world of AI. See, this isn't just some random guess from an outsider. Shane Legg literally helped coin the term AGI. He co-founded DeepMind, which is arguably the world's leading AI research lab, and now he's Google's chief AGI scientist. So he is on the absolute front lines building the very technology he's talking about. This isn't just speculation. It's a forecast coming directly from the engine. So what does he even mean by AGI? For Legg, it's not like flipping a switch from off to on. He sees it as a journey, a progression through very distinct levels of capability. Let's break down his framework, because it's super helpful. He splits it into three big stages. First, you've got minimal AGI. That's the first huge milestone. Then there's full AGI, which is a whole other level. And then finally, you get to something completely different, artificial superintelligence. Okay, so this first level, minimal AGI, that's what he's aiming his 2028 prediction at. And he defines it really simply. It's an AI that just stops failing at cognitive tasks in weird ways that a human wouldn't. So think of it less like a super genius and more like it just has the general common sense competence of an average person. But, and this is a huge but, hitting minimal AGI is just the first step on the ladder. There is a massive, massive difference between what a typical person can do and the kind of genius that invents new branches of physics or composes a symphony. Being able to match that entire range of human talent, that's what Legg calls full AGI. And he thinks that could arrive just a few years after the first milestone. And then we get to level 3, artificial superintelligence, or ASI. And this is an intelligence that isn't even on the human spectrum anymore. It is way, way beyond it. And this is the idea that leads to his most profound argument. So this all builds up to Legg's core argument. AI development isn't just going to stop once it reaches our level. He argues from first principles that superintelligence isn't just some crazy possibility, it's basically a physical inevitability. He asks this really critical question. Is our own intelligence, the kind that's produced by this little 20-watt biological brain, is that really the peak of what's possible in the entire universe? His answer is a definitive, absolute no. And his reasoning for this comes down to just raw physics. I mean, look at this. The human brain is an evolutionary miracle for sure, but it has serious physical limits. It runs on about 20 watts of power. Its signals are these slow, gooey electrochemical waves. Now, compare that to a data center. It can pull hundreds of megawatts of power, and its signals travel at pretty much the speed of light. And the difference here isn't just a little bit. We're talking about a physical advantage for silicon of up to 8 orders of magnitude. It's a completely staggering gap in potential. And this is exactly why he says this with so much certainty. Just based on the physics alone, the whole idea that human-level intelligence is the final frontier, it just doesn't really hold up. Once we crack the software of intelligence, the hardware it can run on has almost no upper limit. Okay, so what does all this mean for us, in the real world? Like in the next few years? Legg argues the first major shockwaves won't be philosophical, they're going to be economic. He sees this fundamental shift coming. Right now, we mostly see AI as a kind of cool, helpful tool, right? It can plan your vacation or help with your email. But very soon, it's going to transition into an economically valuable worker, an agent that's capable of doing real productive labor. He points to software engineering as the perfect example. You have a team that needs 100 engineers today. Well, in just a few years, you might only need 20. Because an advanced AI is helping them, augmenting their work, and writing a huge chunk of the code itself. It's not necessarily about replacing everyone. It's about a massive leap in productivity that is going to cause huge disruptions in the job market. And once the economic impact of AI becomes this real, this tangible, the whole conversation has to change. It's going to shift from being about fun gadgets and novelties to being about the fundamental structure of our entire economy and, really, our society. And according to Legg, this rapid structural change puts humanity at a really profound choice, a genuine fork in the road for our entire future. He basically lays out two very, very different paths ahead. One path is one of massive, uncontrolled disruption, which could seriously challenge our economies and social fabric. But the other path, if we can manage this transition in the right way, could lead to a potential golden age for all of humanity. So what does he even mean by a golden age? Well, imagine systems that dramatically increase production of everything we need. Imagine accelerating science to the point where we're finding new medicines and technologies at a speed we can't even fathom today. Imagine being freed from the kinds of labor nobody actually wants to do. The opportunity here is for this unbelievable flourishing of human potential. But getting there, that's the tricky part. As Legg himself says, this isn't just a technical problem we need to solve. It's a really profound question that's going to require a global conversation, one that brings in philosophy and economics and ethics. We have to figure out together what that positive future looks like, and then how in the world we steer ourselves toward it. Which, brings us right back to where we started. Legg is still sticking to his 2028 timeline for that first step, minimal AGI. If the guy in the driver's seat is right about how close we are, then these aren't abstract, futuristic debates anymore. They are urgent, right-now conversations. And the question he leaves us with is probably the most important one of all. Are we ready?